Okay, folks, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Oswald Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Back, there are no less distractions now. I get to really hone in on the game, watch my hometown Maryland team take on the Northern Illinois team. Now that I'm able to break it all down, let's just get right into it. You guys know what it's about on this channel. We give you straight, raw, honest, and we just react to what we see. The goal here is for me to become a play-by-play announcer for college football, and I can't just talk about doing these things without putting some material out there that allows me to, give myself an opportunity to do it probably as soon as the 2026 football season. So right into it. Looks like we got a penalty to start off the game. Got Northern Illinois taking on Northern Illinois Huskies taking on my hometown, University of Maryland Terrapins. All right, let's get right into it, baby. Starting off with a hold on the University of Maryland kick team. And let's see who we got. We got 7 coming out. And see what kind of offense we got going on. Malik Washington, Big Ten Freshman of the Week against Florida Atlantic. Let's see what he's got. Again, I'm not a big stats guy. Not a big stats guy. It's so important that we don't get focused on stats. I heard the great ones. The great ones understand that stats are for losers and the scoreboard is for winners. We got a pass. Terrible blocks by those receivers. Terrible blocks by those receivers. All right. When you're going to run the bubble screen like this, when you're going to bounce it out like that, your receivers have got to block. All right. This is the mark of a great team, is when we see receivers block. You guys who are fans of this channel, you can go through all the videos on this channel and you'll see that the great teams have those receivers that block regardless. Again, not good enough. And without a passing game, the run's not going to get there. So let's give Northern Illinois its props. They're coming in as huge underdogs. Again, the University of Maryland. We're part of the Big Ten, which is the best conference in football. In my opinion, all right, best conference in football. You heard me, the Big Ten now. Things are even. And he drops the ball. It dropped on him. Again, not good, not starting off good for the University of Maryland. Got to wake up. Got to wake up. And a punt here. And let's see what we got. Probably a commercial. All right, let's see what Northern Illinois comes out with. Josh Holst, 12 for 18, 101, 1 interception. All right, starting out 2-1, and then the tight end comes in. Now, always watching the underkeys. Now, that's a run because you saw the lineman come out and block. Right, look at that right there. That effort. Good job, 7-7. That's what we're going to break down here on the show. We're going to watch the whole game. We're not interested in just what the quarterback is doing. All right, right now you would think that, and yeah, it's still early, so you can't get too excited here. But right now, the Northern Illinois Huskies are coming out as the aggressor, as the team that's really doing it. All right, so let's see if they can maintain this. Watch the underkeys. Let's see what the line does. It's a run-heavy formation, and they do run. They do, in fact, run. All right, good job, number 10, squeezing down. And that is what is, and many times, again, when you get an inferior opponent, you're the Big Ten team, you're Maryland coming in, you need a play. You need a player. You need someone that's going to spark you to say, hey, let's get it going, guys. Let's stop playing down. That's why you hear me say it every day. Go over to my main channel, which is Aswell C44. we don't teach you how to rise to the occasion. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. When you're playing inferior opponents like this, you cannot allow yourself, even for a minute, to play down to your level of competition. Your standard has to be Big Ten standard all the time, because what can end up happening is you can get embarrassed. All right. Good job, number one. Good job. You got to make that tackle. See, comes inside out, and he has got to angle it out a lot better. All right. You got to angle it out a lot better. I wouldn't be surprised if Northern Illinois goes for a watch it here. So now flatten out that angle right now and get low. Okay. Easier said than done. Totally understand, but you got to flatten out and try to run to his inside hip right now. All right. Oh, yeah, they're going for it. Like I said, know the game, guys. I know the game. It's like, look, we're the underdogs. Why not? It's 4th and 1. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. They've ran the ball well throughout the drive, and it looks like they can pick it up. Yep, they ran the ball well. Kept it on the ground. They ran the ball well. That's not a good sign if you're the Maryland Terrapins defense, that a school, I believe they're in the MAC. I believe Northern Illinois is in the MAC. So it's more of a, so they're not a Power 4 conference. It's coming in and just running it right at you like that. That's not good. And this was actually the team last year, if you remember. This was the team last year that upset Notre Dame. It was the big win they had it early in the season against Notre Dame. It was really, really embarrassing to the Notre Dame faithful, to the Fighting Irish faithful. They obviously, came back after that, made it all the way to the national championship. But Northern Illinois has the ability to do that. All right. That's a situation that looks like the quarterback got to get rid of it. You just got to get rid of it. It looks like he had some time, tempo. They're getting away from what was working, right? They sometimes the play calling just get a little too cute. But if you're going to do it, the protection's there. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Hit your check down right there. Just get rid of it. Don't take a sack because you just got a first down. Watch it. Let's look at the check down. Right here, this running back is open. Right here, the running back, you got to hit him now or throw it away. But you can't take a sack there. You just can't. You just get some momentum. Now you're in 2nd and long. Quarterback got to do better there. All right, run again. You see, now imagine, and not to, go back in time because that's not what football is all about, but imagine you don't take that sack and the running back now gets a decent game. You're able now to at least do something, but you don't want to be in a situation where you're in 3rd and 14 against a team that has more talent, has more athleticism, plays in a tougher conference, and all that. You're putting yourself in situations that you don't want to be in. So now they're 4 wide, they're 2-by-2, and it's an obvious pass situation. These D linemen for the University of Maryland, they're going to come after it. They're going to come after them, and just watch. They may not even need to blitz. But they're going to come after them because it's a 3rd and long. See what they do. Timeout by Northern Illinois. All right. All right. Getting back right now, 3rd and 14. Northern Illinois put themselves in a really, really tough situation, seeing that they started off with some promise. We're talking about an inferior opponent traditionally, an inferior opponent when in the MAC from Northern Illinois. Talking about a team that is traditionally not as good as the team in the Big Ten. But again, Maryland hasn't had a great run the past couple of years, so could make it interesting given that Northern Illinois upset Notre Dame last year. To start off the game, Maryland looked horrible. We had a penalty on the kickoff. They go 3-and-out, drop passes, receivers not blocking, all that kind of stuff. And Northern Illinois actually gets a first down. So right now, Northern Illinois is actually outplaying the University of Maryland, which it sucks for me to say that, seeing that I am from Maryland. I grew up maybe about 15 minutes from this campus. And, whenever, again, Michigan fan at heart, but, you see that Maryland up there, you always going to support the home team, which is what made me want to do this game in particular. So, no. Running, bro? No. You see, this is embarrassing right now. I'm embarrassed that you would let a Northern Illinois team pick up a first down on 3rd and 14 running the ball. That's just them outmanning you. That's basically a first down. And again, they ran it again. So this is the issue now. This is what gets, again, as a Marylander at heart, right? Yeah, don't necessarily, I like to see the team do well, but this is not good. Look at the way this lineman gets moved. Number 10 gets moved by a player from the MAC conference. Okay. I'm going to do my best to be very fair and subjective in these or impartial when it comes to watching these games, which is why I do them. I am more so practicing for myself as well, but I'm starting to get a little embarrassed right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Starting to get a little embarrassing right now, seeing the hometown team kind of get outplayed by some school in the MAC. All right, we got to get it together. Got to get together, Locks. Come on, Locks. That's a first down. Look at the way he gets moved. Look at the way number 10 gets moved. He gets moved so far back that they looking at. Nope, his knee was not down. Initially, his knee was not down. It looks like they're looking at the first down. Let's watch it. Good spin move by the running back. And he stays up. It looks like a first down, man. His knee stays up, and it's not down yet. Now it's down. It's wherever the ball is when the knee goes down. What's up, brother? All right, let's see what they got. First down. Yep, his knee didn't. The call was upheld. By the way, reason I do this without the sound on is because, again, you guys need to get used to hearing my voice as your play-by-play announcer, speaking it into existence. And I got to get my reps in, my practice reps in, which is, again, I'm all about leading by example. I don't just go out, tell you I want to do something and not put the material, not put the steps, not put the things together to actually get the shit done. All right, that's not what we're all about. 2 pulling guards again. It's a decent job by number 1. Not a decent, but here's the issue is that he's the only one there. We want to talk about playing defensive football. We're talking about tackling by committee. It shouldn't just be one man making that tackle. Even though it's a great individual play by that linebacker, he read it well. He shot the gap. Then we have to. Where's the tackling by committee? Where's the 11 hats to the ball? One guy making a tackle, as good as it may be for that one guy. We want to see run plays, especially run plays, being tackled by committee, more people coming in. All right, now it looks like that was a good job by the Maryland defensive line there. Really good job by the Maryland defensive line there because they stuck up the hole now. Let's see if they kind of got their minds right now. 3rd and 8. after two minimal gains by Northern Illinois. There we go. Right there. You see the defensive line. You see 98 stuffing up the middle and holding his own on that line of scrimmage. That's the way it needs to work. Got to win up front, both offensively and defensively. Got to stop that run. Because I could already tell you this quarterback ain't it. The quarterback ain't going to beat you. This one specifically isn't. Got him. Sack. Yep. Exactly. You can already sense he, like, based on the sack. I think he did. Was it a sack where he should have got rid of the ball already? He's hesitant. You could see on that first drive that this quarterback is very hesitant in terms of him getting rid of the football just now. There was opportunity to throw it away. At least on this first drive, he did not have it. He didn't have that it factor where he's letting it fly. But most part, Northern Illinois has flipped the field position, and we'll see what Maryland does with it. Punt, and it is a touchback. It looks like, yeah, it went into the end zone. It's a touchback. So starting off, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Meaning, basically, in layman's terms, got to stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And that brings me to today's Move Swiftly thought / announcement / football season way of doing things over here in the Move Swiftly world. If you're not familiar, if you're new to around here, if you're new to this channel, just know I'm all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field that get applied on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they have a staff, a group of employees that moves just like a championship high school or youth football team. So that's what we do around here, point blank period. And obviously, given the time of this recording, it's first week of September. We got both college football and NFL football officially kicked off and getting going. There's a lot of material that I have to sift through, a lot of examples to teach you business owners in terms of how to utilize the game to make it so you have a staff that moves as cohesively as that championship team. So all that being said, today, Faith-Based Friday is no longer going to be something that I do on a public platform. Again, I go to church every day. In fact, I actually increased how much tithes I'm paying, so that we're all good on that front when it comes to just church stuff. But I'm no longer going to do a Faith-Based Friday. We're going to replace it with what I'm going to call a First Whistle Friday, which I'll dive deeper. Well, I'll basically go over. So tonight, I'm going to be doing the entire, I believe it's Maryland taking on Northern Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to be doing that entire 3 hours of that game. So go over to film session Saturday to watch that game as I document it and, talk about it. That's First Whistle. That'll be something along the First Whistle Friday, but more so, this is where I'll start talking about some of the headlines going into the weekend of games. All right. So there will be a live stream on this channel where I'll be talking about or reacting.
Maryland coming in at 1st and 10 from the 20 after a drive stalled for the Northern Illinois Huskies. Drive stalled, and let's see if, again, Maryland can start looking like they play in the Big Ten Conference, because the first 2 drives, they did not. They just kind of looked stagnant and didn't really get anything going offensively. Now we got a pass, got great protection, and decent play. However, you can't make a living off it, because as a defense, that's the throw you want to make. The widest throw for the longest amount of yards. They did get the first down, but I don't think you're going to be able to make a living off those out routes. You're not going to just have that much time all the time. So here we go again. Again, great protection here. Widest throw, least amount of yards, and you see why I said what I just said. This is the throw. They didn't get the first down, actually. It was 2nd and 2. But this is the throw every single defensive coordinator out there is teaching their defense to make them throw the widest throw for the least amount of yards. What that means is you want them to go out into the flat so you can go and break on the tackle. That's only, a 2-yard gain. So That's the throw you want them making as a defense. Now, again, Northern Illinois is not getting a pass rush, and it takes time. It takes offense time to get that throw out there, that flat route out there. So, but there it is. There it is. That's the throw you want to protect initially. So the hitches and the seam routes and the ones coming up the middle, you want those throws protected. So Pep, I didn't even realize Pep was there. Pep used to be the OC at Michigan. Yeah. Pep Hamilton. He's one of man. He's one of the guys, man. He knows what he's been around some great ones, man. I believe he coached Andrew Luck back at Stanford when he was with Coach Harbaugh. Pep Hamilton. I didn't realize he was at Maryland now. And that's the thing about the coaching business, man. These guys, it's seasonal. It's seasonal for sure. Looked like a false start that they missed. They sent the corner. This is where you die by the blitz. You die by the blitz here. Northern Illinois, you're dying by the blitz. You blitzed your corner, and it cost you. You blitzed your corner, and it cost you. If you go back to the replay, you're going to see 22 from Northern Illinois come off the edge, and you see where it burnt him. They stayed in the pocket. He got the guy. Watch. 22's coming. It's coming this corner right there. You see him, 22? And then that corner comes, and one missed tackle when you blitz, and ultimately you end up getting burnt. You can't miss tackles. You can't run blitzes. I mean, well, let me not say you can't run blitzes, but if you do run a blitz, the trade-off is exactly what you just saw, big plays. Let's see what they do here now. Good. Just more aggressive, man. Maryland's the more aggressive team. That's just straight power football. The linebacker came in and filled well, but there were no feet. He was the nail getting hammered. You know, coach used to tell me all the time when I played, be the hammer, not the nail. Be the hammer, not the nail. For those of you who don't know, I played fullback / linebacker at Stony Brook University. Mostly I was, kind of a scout team player. I'd already started my career in coaching and scouting and teaching and all that during my 2 years at Stony Brook University. So I got an opportunity in my 2 years to watch film both on the offensive and the defensive side. So that's what makes me so, versed in the game and stuff like that. Just looked like a miscommunication there. And we'll see what they did. 3rd and 6. And let's see what they do here. For the most part, I'll say the drive wasn't. I mean, they got burnt on a blitz. I mean, as far as speaking on the University of Maryland side, it's not that impressive of a drive because they got down there because of just a play call that fit the right. There's a play call that they took advantage of the fact that Northern Illinois blitzed and another missed on. Now, this one was open. They took advantage of the fact that Northern Illinois blitzed and they could not run the ball. Once you get in this area and you can't run the ball, you can't pound the rock again against an inferior opponent, an opponent that is not playing in a tough conference like you are. That is not good. So I'd say this drive is an absolute failure because you're in the red zone, you get a gift, you're in a situation where you should be pounding this rock in. That's football, man. You should be able to pound this rock in, as in running the football in the end zone and not be settling for these passes. Now you're settling for a field goal. Not good. Not good considering where you were, right? You can't be settling for these field goals when you're in a situation where you got such a big gain on that little out route that they threw, right? Not a good situation Maryland-wise. Right? Got to do better. Just simply got to do better. All right, let's go to commercial. We'll finish out that Move Swiftly thought. And I will And we are back, folks. We're back watching Michigan, Maryland taking on Northern Illinois. So Northern Illinois taking on Maryland. Maryland just went up 3-0 after what I would consider a failure drive, even though it ended with points, considering they had the ball inside the red zone and they couldn't punch it in. They couldn't run the ball in. They stalled in the middle of the red zone. Not really driving the ball down in a nice long ruling drive. It was a big play and got them down close, and they still couldn't finish it off and seal the deal with a touchdown. It's not encouraging at all. As a native of the city, as a person that was born and raised in Maryland, it was not at all encouraging to see that. But again, we'll see. This is why you play the game, and maybe maybe there's a situation where not giving Northern Illinois enough credit for coming out and showing that they've been able to, for the most part, we're midway through the first quarter and showing that they could play with them. And again, look at the movement. Look at the movement that they're getting up front. Number 10, this is about the second time I've seen him get his ass kicked. Plain and simple. Get bitch smacked up the field. All right? Second time it's been on film. All right, and this is why I'm doing this channel, because the film does not lie. There's no line when you watch yourself on film and you're getting your ass kicked. All right, it's about 10 times. It's 3 yards on a first down. All right, and it could have been more had it been a team that with more of a built offensive line than Northern Illinois, which is what's on the schedule for University of Maryland. Another great push. Did you see that double team up front? It's a double team up front. Running back ran right behind it. A solid 5-yard gain. Make it a third and manageable. They are running the ball well on the University of Maryland right now. They ran right at them. There was a double team to that right side, double team with the tackle and guard, and they moved It looked like they moved whoever that left D tackle was. I don't think it was number 10. All right. Yep, 3rd and 2, 3rd and manageable. See, if they wanted to, they could run, they could pass. The playbook opens up when you have 3rd and manageables, and they're gonna run and pick up the first down. They did. They ran right at them and picked up the first down. Again, not encouraging. This is Big Ten football. We have got to understand that Maryland plays, and you're going to hear me say it over and over. They play Big Ten football, but you can't be allowing people to get moved. There's number 10 again getting moved around. He's getting pushed back again. Okay? It's happening consistently. That was 3 runs in a row, and they picked up the first down. That's not encouraging. All right? First thing you got to do as a defender, as a defense, you got to stop the run. And they're moving the ball up the field based on the run. They're getting a little cute. They do some burst counter play, and they're getting cute. Was it a turnover? Make sure my mic is on. All right, Northwestern. All right, let's see what we got. About a minute 50 left in the first quarter. It's 2nd and 10. Northern Illinois is about on their own 30, close to their 35. So the issue is Northern Illinois is not the pass game from the first 2 drives. They haven't been able to develop enough of a rhythm in the pass game. I think the run game has kind of kept the game close because they've been able to sort of shorten the quarter. But they got to get something going in the air. It doesn't have to be, you doesn't have to go chuck it all over the field, but you got to kind of produce something. Here's another run. The play call is decent, but it screams I don't have confidence in my quarterback throwing on a 3rd and 10. That's what it screams. Every time you throw, you kind of take a risk. And this play, just the play call in itself, it's a designed run by the quarterback. It's basically saying, oh my God, did you see oh my goodness. That is a booyah. Oof, and that's a lineman. That's what happens when you're standing straight up. Offensive lineman, you're running down the field, standing around straight up. You got to come low. Good hit by number 1. All right. It's dangerous. Let's see what he does with it. Good job, 27. Good job. Good coverage, kid. Good coverage by 27. Good job. All right, let's get back into it. We'll be right back. And we're back. We're back. We're back. I just want to Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, back for another college football game. We're watching the Maryland Terrapins taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies. It is 1st and 10 going in. Towards the end of the first quarter here. And as a fan of the Big Ten, a believer that the Big Ten is the best conference in all of football, and also a native of Maryland, born and raised there, Silver Spring, Maryland, about 15 minutes from the campus. One of the reason I decided to do this game. It's not very encouraging. It's not very encouraging because on the low key, always, I'm cheering for the team from the DMV, and it does not look like they are dominating a team that is in a weaker conference very much, to where had it not been for one big play, the score would be 0-0 right now, because they have not gotten anything done, any cohesion, anything done offensively. All right. It has just not been encouraging first quarter against a team like this. All right. It just has not been. Now, last week, I caught a little bit of when they played FAU, excuse me, and it seemed like they dominated pretty well. But we got a commercial break now. Let me All right, folks, we're back. I'm pretty sure what Loxley's saying is just, hey, we're not getting any cohesion, not getting any movement, not really making plays. You can already tell by his body language that they're just not doing it right. In fact, now that I'm probably start letting the volume play for those. All right, here we go, 3rd and 5, and again, I mean, it's basically it was a 3-and-out, not one. They did not get a first down that drive. They did not. No, I don't think they got a first down. Let's see a yard line now. I think it was one. No, it's only that 5-yard gain, right? It's only that 5-yard gain. There's no first down. Again, nothing offensively. This is not encouraging, Maryland fans. This is not encouraging at all. Because, again, you should be getting going, and you cannot play to your level. You cannot play down to your competition. Yet it's Friday night, and it should be fun, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, a lot of these players, when they go on to play in college, they don't get an opportunity to play on Friday nights anymore. Friday Night Lights is the big thing in high school. But when you get to college, a lot of times, most of the times, your games are on Saturday afternoons and stuff like that. So playing Friday Night Light game should bring about a little more energy. It should bring about a little more than what we're seeing from the Maryland Terrapins right now. All right, let's see it. All right, should go back a little quicker. We'll let this one run, and then we'll see if there's one more. Yeah, it should be a quick one. But yeah, we'll let this play. Actually, I'll give my overall just game, the way the game is going right now. It is looking very discouraging for the University of Maryland because I know the game of football, and you don't want Big Ten programs, power conference like the Big Ten, struggling with a team that's in the MAC. That's not encouraging at all because you know what's on your schedule. You know the games that you got on your schedule. You got the top dogs. You got the best programs coming in, or you going out to the best programs. And for you to come out here with this lackluster way and only being up 3-0 and your offense really producing absolutely nothing outside of a big play where they actually sent the corner. They sent the corner on this big play, so it wasn't like you dominated and got yourself in the red zone because the way you executed the game plan. You got there because of one play, and you happened to call a play that was perfect for the play that the defensive had called. That's being lucky. That's not at all being in a situation where you're actually making things happen. That's just called being lucky. All right, it's called being lucky, and hopefully they get it right. It's in Maryland first, but again, hats off to Northern Illinois as well. We don't want to trash them too much that they don't know how to play football, but we just want to, again, what the expectation is from the public persona, from the outside looking in. You got the expectation is that Maryland, dominates this team, and they're not dominating this team right now. All right, we got another pass. Okay. Again, this quarterback on Northern Illinois is not at all looking comfortable in the pocket. He's hesitant when he throws the ball. The play calling is very clear that they don't have confidence in the guy. They decide they want to do a little sprint out, get him outside the pocket and see what's open. He's not, you can watch on film, you can watch it just based on what we're seeing, that this quarterback is not somebody that the coaches have a great deal of confidence in, and he doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself based on the way he's playing. All right. So they do a little screen pass. Again, not getting much. Best thing Northern Illinois has had going for them offensively thus far is they've ran right at them. They've done a decent job of running right at Maryland, and they've picked up yards and things like that. So that's been somewhat of a positive note for Northern Illinois. And if they can stick to it, we'll see what happens at the end of the fourth quarter and what the game starts to look like. But right now it's trips. One wide, got to run him back in, and let's see what they do. And he finally let it go. Now, he was covered when he threw that ball. All right, now that's confidence. All right, now that looked a little confident, but he was covered. Watch the receiver's covered, but he threw it in there anyway. Great catch. That's what I mean when I say faith. That's what I mean when I say confidence. He needs to have certain throws and would just put one up to your guys and let it fly. That's a good job by that quarterback. It's a key. It's a key. The quarterback kept it. Good decision. Another great decision. That's two good decisions in a row by 1-5, by 15. Good job. So now you keep it. Boom. Good job because that DN slanted in and he was able to pick up a pass again. Another good decision by the quarterback. Two positive plays in a row for that kid. Good for him. Now it's 2nd and 6. You can open up the playbook here. You can pass. You can run. Now they go to a bunch formation. Got the tight end in and pass. Gotta let it go. First of all, I'm not a big fan of the call. All right, you didn't need to run a trick play. You didn't need to run a trick play there. All right, that was not a good call. Secondly, if you're gonna make the call and you have time the way the quarterback has time, all right, get rid of it. Throw it away. Get it out of your hands now. And it just, again, it's set up by not a really great call. All right, you don't need trick plays for the most part. You're playing with this fake reverse and throwback, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense. This is when coaches start outsmarting themselves, which is a lot of college coaches out there that do that. They spend too much time on X's and O's and they end up costing. We didn't see a receiver block a fucking lick there. That was horrible by the receivers for the Northern Illinois Huskies. That's not acceptable. As receivers, you're going to see the mark of a great team based on how well the receivers block and how well they run routes when the ball may not go to them, all right? A fake punt. Oh, no, and they didn't get it. No, not a good idea. Not a good idea. I don't like that call at all. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. I mean, you're outplaying them, though. You're not in a bad situation. It's only 3-0. You don't need to hit the panic button now. The problem with a fake punt is that you can give them great field position. You give them field position that's favorable for them. You can't do that. And we are back, folks. Yes, I am a Washington Commanders fan, and it's going to be fun starting the season 1-0 after we tear up some New York Giant ass. So it'll be a big one. See what the sophomore campaign of Jaden Daniels looks like, along with a lot of other guys, and Luvo and we got Scary Terry signed and all that kind of stuff. The defense, hopefully they can redeem themselves from the way the season ended last year when Philly put 54 on that ass. So, right, another reverse trick plays, which again got the first down. All gotta respect, got the first down, but it's a reverse that's not going to stay consistent. Not going to be a consistent deal here. Reverse here, or yeah, basically a reverse. And look at how horrible that receiver blocked. Horrible. Decent push by the offensive. There we go, 71. Decent push by the offensive line for the University of Maryland. Second down, and I believe it is 6. Second down and 6. 4-yard gain. We have 2 wide, a wing. Good cut. Good cut by the running back. Good cut by the running back. He's one. If he breaks that tackle, he's in the end zone. Another great cut to see the open field there. So watch the cut here. It starts off going to his left, and then he's vision. Great cut right there to pick up a very positive game. Again, there we go. That's what we like to see. Guys just running right at you. Running right at you. Looks like about a 5-yard gain for the University of Maryland. Right. Good job. Way to follow your blocks. Good job, 75. Good job. All right, now they're playing. They're running right at them. You want to keep picking up yards on the ground. This is how you should be winning football games. Good, 76. Good pull by 75. Excuse me. Good pull by 75. Got a pass here. Stay up, quarterback. Good job. Good job by that quarterback staying up and allowing his receivers to get open. Could have tripped and given up a good job, good balance for him to stay up and make a great pass because it gave the receiver time to actually get open on that one. Maryland up 9, getting ready to be 10-0 after a pass play. I believe the name is Malik Washington. Now 10-0 University of Maryland. See, and even in that though, he waited a little too long to get the ball to him. All right, folks, we're back. As one Crookshank, your one and only, move swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, current 5-time, soon to be 6-time published author and educator, founder, creator, innovator, the guy, the guy of the whole move swiftly concept. That's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they move like a championship. They have a staff, they have a staff that moves as efficiently and as coherently and has the same passion as the championship high school or youth football team. Go to makeyourmove.com for more information on that. And Northern Illinois that are down. They are down 10-0 to the University of Maryland, which against had a really, really rocky, uninspiring start to the game for the University of Maryland faithful. But they are up. All that being said, they are up 10-0, and they are they for the most part look like the better team, and they have no business whatsoever losing this game. They are the better team. All right, there we go. Let's see if Northern Illinois can get something going offensively. It has been a struggle for them all game. Trick plays, unnecessary trick plays that cause problems and made it so multiple drives stalled out for Northern Illinois. Good job here, number 3. Again, good job, number 1. Second play he's made individually, right to it. Second one he's played so far this game. Same thing. They sent the blitz there, and that made it so some receivers are wide open. Somebody blitzed, and there were receivers wide open. Yep. This looked like the rover number 4 came in off the edge, and that messed up the zone. And good job by that quarterback of seeing that. It's going to be interesting if Northern Illinois can figure out a way to put one in the end zone before the half. Then it's going to get real interesting. Looks like they are attempting to shorten the game. The pull. Better. I don't say it's a good one, but it's a better block by that wide receiver to spring his fellow wide receiver for a first down. The Northern Illinois Huskies. Watch it. Watch the wide out here. Good block. Gets in front of the corner. One play here. All right, 2nd and 6. Ball on Maryland's look like close to now 41-yard line. 42-yard line, excuse me. There, that was played well by the defense. There was no movement on Northern Illinois side. Looks like they might have to burn a timeout. Might have to burn a timeout. Oh no, they stopped. All right. Was that him again? Number one again, making a hell of a play in the open field. He's having a hell of a game. He's having a hell of a game. Reads it well. Looks like they're a man. And he's like, nope, not happening. Not happening, Captain. Fourth and 3. They already went for one and got it. Let's see if they get this one or if they are going for it. 3 yards. And they get it again. Now, that was a good job by the quarterback staying patient and staying right there. Didn't get too excited. Seemed to calm down. It looks like he's going through his progressions. He got his guy. First down. Right at him. Right at him. They're not at all. I'll tell you what, they're not at all intimidated by the University of Maryland. They're running right at them. Looks like he flinched. False start. No. Drive killers. Drive killers on those false starts. So frustrating. Missing game there. Brings up a third and looks like about 8 or 7. Third and 8, third and 7. Yep, got it. Third and 7. Two-minute warning. Here we go. All right, folks, we're back. Oh boy. All right, 3rd and 7, and looks like a run. Let me see a replay that they obviously picked up the first down. Here it is. Yep, run right at him. Run right at him. 55. Good job. Number 1. The negative play doesn't come in and make the tackle or take on the block well, which is why you heard me say at the beginning earlier that when you see one man making the tackle without his buddies and gang tackling, it's a concern for later on in the game. That you gotta adhere to. You can't just brush that off. That one got stuffed. Who was that? 9-8. I guarantee it's because he got a lot of pressure up front. Maryland calls for timeout. 2 timeouts remaining. First one of the half. All right, so now that we got some time, a couple minutes before half, I will explain to you how exactly this whole film session Saturday came about and what's the plan for the future and how to utilize it. Me, myself, I'm a college football man, and I was sick of the championship game of last season when Ohio State ultimately won. To the point where I was not going to be happy unless I found some football to watch in my life. So I just said, hey, I'm just watching on my own. So back to the game, 2nd and 12. Northern Illinois is driving. They're in the goal line. They're on the. And are you kidding me? Tackling. That is horrendous. It's horrendous. That is not accept defensively. You got to make that tackle. This Maryland defense looks gas. They see it in their body language, but they're just not. They're not playing with a lot of confidence. So it does look like it will be a good finish. Can't predict these things too much. It looks like it'll be a good finish based on the way how flat Maryland has looked coming out. All right, 3rd and 6. They're in field goal range, so be smart with the football. Let's see what happens. Another run. Very discouraging. He's a Maryland fan. Very discouraging for all my Maryland fans out there. It's very discouraging. The team does not look like they came on the field. They took the field really ready to dominate the Northern Illinois Huskies. Great cut right there, number 3. Got to do better. Number 3 for the University of Maryland. Got to do better. Let's see. All right. Big run, heavy set formation. Let's see if they try to trick him up 1st and goal and throw a pass. Again, not a great call. If you're gonna run, you gotta run right at him. Gotta run right at him. This perimeter trying to get outside and get too cute with the play call, it's not working. It's not working. It's too many athletes on the other side. Too many athletes on the University of Maryland's defense for you to try to take that route. Now, I'm not sure if the receiver planned this, but the fact that he stayed in bounds in this situation was a good. It's a good thing. You don't want to. You don't. If you're Northern Illinois, you don't want to give Maryland the ball back before halftime, and then they time out. Coach Loxley. Yeah, I remember the Auburn one. Second and goal. Yeah, two mistakes in a row play calling wise. You run into the perimeter. Run directly at him. That's what got you down here in the first place. Running directly at him. So it doesn't look like Maryland's going to get the ball back in the first half. And all these tosses, pitches, bouncing it around and all that, that is not working. That is the play. They got 6 seconds. Let's see what Northern Illinois is. Fourth and goal. It's probably going to take the field goal. He should take the field goal here. Unless he just wants to go balls to the in this thing. In this thing. Go for it and score a touchdown. I think you got to take the points here. Got to take the points here. Especially since Northern Illinois is getting the ball first in the second half. Let's see what the kicker got. Let's see what the kicker got. All right, field goal attempt. Northern Illinois with 6 seconds left to go in the half. Down 10-0. Let's see if the Northern Illinois Huskies can get on the board for the first time and make this a one-touchdown game. All right, good job by that kid. Good job by the kicker. All right, I'll probably squib it here and get into the locker room to make the halftime adjustments. Want to see if they're doing any coaching. But that I'll let the sound play for. Somebody's needing. All right, let's see. Let's finish out the half now. All right, just squib it and get to the locker room. Squibbing it. Mm, mm, mm. Like it's 3 seconds on the clock. Let's see what they do. They changed it to 1 second. Doesn't really matter. They probably should just take a knee here and then figure out what kind of adjustments they need to make in the second half. Yep, and that's exactly what they are going to do. And that's it. That's pretty much what I said. All right, we'll let it go. back. We are back, folks. Let's listen to some of the commentators here, see if they're all right. That's enough of that. Let's get it right back. Let's see what we have in store. All right. Like I said, Northern Illinois, they get the ball first. They have an opportunity here to tie the game up. Let's see how they come out, see what kind of adjustments were made. But again, very underwhelming performance by the University of Maryland against a team that is not in a Power Four conference. And the fact that they're only up by one touchdown is very discouraging. It's a native Marylander from my born and raised in Maryland. And again, diehard Michigan fan here, but always, always, always love seeing the hometown team, Maryland, do well. But see if they get it together in the half and see how it works out or see how it plays out. All right, they got two wide. Here comes the receiver in motion, and looks like a false start. I believe a false start. False starts. Northern Illinois. I didn't get a number on that one. All right. Good tackle by 27. Way to come up and make a play. That was a good play. Way to come up and make a play. Decent call. Good job by 27. Second and 12. It's more of the same. More Northern Illinois sticking to the ground game. Again, they have an opportunity here to tie it up or put some distance. They're only down one score, so they can stick to the run game. It doesn't have to be an all-out, just air attack all game. It could be a situation where you don't abandon what you can do on the ground. I think they shortened up the game by somewhat controlling a ground game, having some sort of a ground game. They picked up a few first downs just by running it. There we go. That's decent protection. And quarterback, you could tell all game he just does not have the confidence in his throwing arm that you would like to see. Now, at this level, a Power Force, not a Power Four, or even many Power Four conferences, you're not going to get a Andrew Luck. You're not going to get a Trevor Lawrence at that college level when it comes to the quarterback position, which is why I'm such an advocate and why I'm always explaining to you guys, look, the game is bigger than just one position. What the media, the national media likes to do is turn the game of football into a tennis match between two quarterbacks when that's not the case. As you can see throughout this entire channel, you can look at all the games I've watched. We see that up front, the front seven, the linebackers, the offensive and defensive lines, the tight ends, those are the folks that are really making the game what the game is because of the well-informed nature, the amount of things that they are asked to do. And I'm not even at any point implying that the quarterback position is not the most important on the field, but it's not the only. Being the most important versus being the only position on the field, that's where you start to see a lot of things go astray. You start to see a lot of things just not be true when you're talking about the shit that the national media continues to pay attention to all the time. Good tackle. Who was that? See, when you blitz, that's how you blitz. 17, when you blitz, that's how you blitz. He didn't stop. He kept going. It looks like the safety came in on a blitz. Good tackle. That's where a blitz actually served them. See, before, the reason that Maryland even has a field goal where it's up by a field goal and a touchdown is because that first drive where they got a field goal is because they got caught in the blitz and Maryland was able to make one pass and take it all the way to the red zone because he basically was missing the blitzing, looked like the blitzing corner. Lord. There's a catch, but still got to get the throw where it needs to be. Good effort by number 4. He dragged. That's a good catch. And pass. Did he catch that? Let's see it. He did not catch that. That is a drop. Hit him in his hands. Got to catch those. Got to catch those. Again, good tackle by 32. Shot the gap, paid off. Shot the gap, and it paid off. Check the flag. Oh, hands to the face. Illegal hands to the face. And it looked like the kid that made the tackle. Let's see what he did. Where's the hands to the face? It wasn't 32. It looked like it in the face. Good blocking there, and pretty much a first down. Way to seal off the edge. Good call. Patient with the blocks and allowing it to develop. Overall, good offensive play. But you got to punch this one in. You can't settle for a field goal. You got to punch this one in. Not enough movement. That Northern Illinois the defensive line is holding its own. They're holding their own. Good. Look at the push they get up front. Got number 5. Yeah, no, number 6. Same one that got the hands to the face. Good job. Dang, gets him there again. All right, 1st and 10. See what Maryland decides to do. Ball looks like they're in the red zone. It looks specific yard line. It is on the 25. University of Maryland's 25, by the way. All right, good protection there, and that was a good throw. Good protection, good throw. Not enough movement up front. Not enough movement. I'm telling you, it's discouraging that you're not able to punch the ball in on the ground, and you're supposed to be the stronger opponent. This is the second time now that we're seeing Maryland in the red zone, and they're not able to punch the ball in. All right, this will not be a good thing moving forward. You've got to get that corrected. Don't. Bad decision, quarterback. Bad decision. You almost stepped out of bounds before you threw it that way, and I would have lost multiple yards. Hmm. Oh, they're gonna look at it. Oh, it slipped. It's like a miscommunication, burn the early timeout, which happens. And we are back, folks. Aswan Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, soon to be 6-time published author and educator. Back, 3rd and 10. Maryland, gotta punch this in. Gotta punch this in. That looked like a false start. They missed it. That is abysmal. It's abysmal that you're in 4th and 10 and you got to settle for a field goal again. See if the kicker can knock one out, make it a 2-score game. And it's good. And it's good. Maryland's up 13. Northern Illinois 3. Up by 10 points. Up by 10 points after a field goal was just made. Okay, back as on Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, breaking down, watching the Northern Illinois taking on my hometown University of Maryland game. Again, it's not very encouraging as Maryland fans, as native of Maryland. It's not at all an encouraging game so far, seeing that they're only up by 10 points and twice they've had the ball in the red zone, and they have come away one with 0 points and no, actually, at two field, they came away with 2 field goals. They didn't score touchdowns. And that's not something that is okay. All right, you got to get better, especially in the conference that you're in. Seven minutes, 47 seconds to go in the third quarter. Great stop by University of Maryland's defense. Good tackle for loss. All right, 2nd and 10. From the about 26-yard line. Look at the movement. Look at the movement. I mean, the Northern Illinois team just has no answer. They're not getting any movement on the ground game as of late. Now, they did break off a few decent runs here and there, but they're not getting enough movement for regular ground game. Oh, just as I say that, oh, Lord. Not good. Let's see if there's a hold. See if there's a hole. Oh, the track. Did you see the track finish? Did you see the track finish? I believe it was DeAnthony Thomas that made that one famous back when he played at Oregon, and I can't remember. It might have been they played a while ago, but he took a punt return back and he ended with the track finish, just like 45 about the track finish. Whoop, track finish. But this isn't good. All right, Maryland, you can't let these big plays happen. Now it's going to get interesting. Now it's going to get interesting because for the most part, Maryland has yet to get anything going offensively. If you give them the ball back, give Northern Illinois the ball back, there's a confidence that they're going to have within them to go out and put one in the end zone against the Maryland defense, especially after what we just saw. Way to dive, number 4. Way to dive at it. I mean, just got to get the ball up, quarterback. All right, we are back after a long touchdown run from Northern Illinois, which again, very, very discouraging if you're a Marylander and you want to see the team do well. Northern Illinois is playing their ass off right now. They're outplaying Maryland. Sanders for season as offensive coordinator. All right, passed for the most part, well protected and not close to the first down. run and run directly at him. All right, looks like about a 4-yard gain. That is 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Big play for both sides. Big play for both sides. Northern Illinois has got to try to get off the field, and Maryland Terrapins got to get something moving offensively now. It needed to happen yesterday. We all started it. We saw it beginning of this game in that first quarter. That first drive looked very, very sloppy. Good block, 74. Good block, 74. Tick. About 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tick. 2 wide up top and scrambles out of the pocket before he needed to. And even now, throw it now. Good job. 17's been in a lot of action today. It's been a lot of great plays. It's like a show blitz. Let's see if they come. All right, now 39, Northern Illinois on their own 39-yard line. And it doesn't look like he's going to get it. Ah, boy. This is discouraging, man. The offense just does not look at all like there's any cohesion on Maryland's side. Now they are going to punt the ball. What was the fuss about? Oh, he just pushed the guy. He just did they call a flag on that? That's horrible. Let's see. Okay, he touches him. You got to protect the quarterback, huh? That's what they do. No. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. Hold on. Leave it up, son. All right, they got the first down. Let's see what they do. About 3 minutes ago. Apologies for the technical difficulties here. Oh, what? Hold on. Share. All right. We're back. Apologies for those technical difficulties. Play action, nothing's there. So let's see what he does. Oh, no, that's easy. That's an easy one. Wasn't playing the ball. Corner was lost. Play. and he's just running right into him. All 20, that was that number 12. All he has to do is turn around, and look for that interception. He was in all right position. Yep, that was an easy one. Pass interference. Good keep by that quarterback for more positive yards. Right now, we're at second down and looks like 4, 6, second and 4. I said, excuse me, the gain of 4, second and 6. Pass. Good decision by Dak. Excuse me, not Dak. Malik Washington, I believe the name is. I was thinking about the Cowboys game. Oh, no, he fumbled. Oh, my goodness, no. He. Oh, both of us had a brain fart. I said the word Dak, and then this kid fumbles in the worst time. You're in the red zone, getting ready to put some distance in the gym, and then you fumble like that. Something in the water. Both of us got at a mental lapse there, but this is not good. This is not good at all. Can this actually happen? Northern Illinois may they may come away with there would be a upset, a upset that I will be somewhat upset that I have to witness. See that is coming at the expense of my hometown team. That being said,
a poor communicator, but when you are working towards transformation of any kind and growing,
yeah,
that's where your mindset is, right? How am
right,
I doing on this project? But then all of the employees are like, well, what's going on? Not to say anybody's a poor communicator, but when you are working towards transformation of any kind and growing,
yeah,
that's where your mindset is, right? How am
right.
I doing on this project? But then all of the employees are like, well, what's going on? Not to say anybody's a poor communicator.
At the school that I teach at or anything like that, this is me taking a direct shot at the way society celebrated what Angel Reese did and the fact that Angel Reese did it and didn't get reprimanded for it, got celebrated for it. All right. So here's what happened. The game is down in seed ball. They're going back and forth. They're going back and forth, right? And it just so happens that the little black boy ends up winning. He ends up winning like a last second, the little white boy, he just missed the ball by a little bit. He could have caught it, but it just kind of slipped out of his hands. The second that this little black boy goes and wins, he runs up to the white boy and he goes, ah, 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 all in his face, just sticking the knife and twisting it. I mean, when I tell you, I immediately found that picture of Angel Reese, sent it to my thumbnail guy and said, look, this story needs to be told because we got to understand the realities of what we do and how we conduct ourselves when we're adults, especially when we have a big platform like that and what we celebrate and what we're actually doing to society. Now this kid is going around. When he wins a game, he's celebrating. He's, showing off.
All right, we're back, folks. We're back after a catastrophic brain fart by this quarterback. All right, this questionable roughing the passer, but this is just there's no excuse for this. He puts the ball on the ground, and there's just no excuse for it. You can't do that, quarterback. It looks like Northern Illinois is going to try to shorten the game. They only, again, if they break off another long run, then they got the lead. So let's see what they do. Good tackle by 3 and 14. Where to find the football. It looks like we're getting into the fourth quarter. Yeah, it looks like the NIU is going to take this into the fourth quarter. And heading to the fourth quarter, end of the third. Maryland up 13. Northern Illinois up 9. Good old time. Good old time.
And all this other the same energy Angel Reese had when she lost the next year, and Iowa, Caitlin Clark came back and tapped that after the Elite Eight. Period, point blank, end of sentence. That's why you got to understand the lasting damages of what we do, how we conduct ourselves, and the example that we're setting for the young people. That's what we got to do. All right. So all that being said, I have this is true in all facets of life and all point of views in life. Particularly, especially as a business owner, you need to understand that you set the tone, you set the example of what you want in your business. You cannot do this on your own. Be sure to contact me, the main website, to check out the dive deeper into all my work and ask about my employee development workshops. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop. And I'll make sure somebody gets one of these and not just break the corporate rules that no one would know, really.
Do you not have a black coffee rifle shop near you?
This is the
customers.
Quick story on the football, and again, I have a lot of books to 300 different people. That's 300 sales, right? We have actually, you know what? Let me just do the math. Why not? Let's do the math together. I'm gonna pull out the calculator since we are talking numbers. I'll pull out the calculator. For podcast listeners, I'm pulling out the calculator as we speak, just to do it. You sell 300 times times $10 a book. You're getting $3,000. So you had 300 sales, $10 a book. You get $3,000. Yep, you get $3,000 for your 300 sales, right? That's a lot of people. 300 people is a lot of people. I personally sell 3 people. Let me clear it out. I personally sell 3 people times $60K for a workshop. That's $180,000 versus your $3,000.
All right, folks, we're back. Oh, no. Looks like a sack. Let's see the replay. Whoa. Flag, sack. Intentional grounding, quarterback. There's 2 mistakes by both quarterbacks. Yeah. You can see his coaches letting them know it too. 2 catastrophic mistakes by both quarterbacks here. Instead of stepping up in the what? No. Yep, that is definitely intentional grounding. 4th and 21. You got to punt it from your own end zone. Oh my gosh! Now he fumbles. It's just sloppy. Overall, very sloppy game. Just catastrophic mistakes. Not an easy punt to make at all. He had an opportunity to return it, and he muffed it. All right. I got more sales, but if you're charging for, it depends on what you're charging and who your client actually is. Okay, that right there, take that, flip that, run that. That's exactly the point we're making here. Less numbers, bigger paycheck. So let me finish. Books to 300 different people. That's 300 sales, right? We have three. Actually, you know what? Let me just do the math. Why not? Let's do the math together. I'm gonna pull out the calculator since we are talking numbers. I'll pull out the calculator for podcast listeners. I'm pulling out the calculator as we speak, just to do it. You sell 300 times, I don't know, times $10 a book. You're getting $3,000. So you had 300 sales, $10 a book. You get $3,000. Yep, you get $3,000 for your 300 sales, right? That's a lot of people. 300 people is a lot of people. I personally sell 3 people. Let me clear it out. Okay. I personally sell 3 people times $60K for a workshop. That's $180,000 versus your $3,000. That's what I mean when I say the numbers. So yeah, you can run around saying, "Oh, I got more sales," but if you're charging for, it depends on what you're charging and who your client actually is. Okay. Okay, folks, back. As one Crookshank here, one and only Move Swiftly speaker, going through the Maryland taking on Northern Illinois game. Just saw muff punt. Maryland's going to get the ball here, 13-9, to try to put some distance, at least salvage what is left of a very, very sloppy game where they really didn't do much, didn't really dominate the way you would expect a team that plays in such a strong conference to dominate a team that's in a weaker conference. All right. But we'll see what we can. And you can tell by the body language of the coach that although they're winning the game on the scoreboard, it is not a pleasant performance. Say it like that. Ball is uncatchable, so it wasn't a pass interference. They established nothing on the ground, really. It kind of just the body language of the players is as if they don't want to be there. It is, you could see the energy is not where it needs to be on the Maryland Terrapins side. And that pains me to say, being from the area. All right. Good. Again, 3 and out. Not getting anything going offensively. This offense has been, it's been tough to watch. They have not done anything offensively. The Maryland Terrapins have not. And Northern Illinois is still very much in this game. Oh, Jesus. Man. It is frustrating. Here we go again. Another situation, another flag. But here we go again with another situation where Maryland could have pinned Northern Illinois deep, and just another brain for another blunder. All right, started. It's still early in the fourth quarter. Northern Illinois is only down by 4. Let's see what they do.
Wrong, and he knew that there was something was wrong, all that kind of stuff. And I hear that argument. Where I get really confused about the situation is I'm still confused as to how that at all is going to lead to the consistency of the way the program has been winning year after year. You know, aside from this year where they pretty much lost their entire roster, they still beat the national champions, the Ohio State team, the team that went on to become the national champions. They beat them. They went undefeated the year prior. They won the Big Ten championship the year before that. They won the Big Ten championship for that. So I don't know how you can correlate what's being alleged to the consistency in which they've been winning. That's a proof that they did something wrong, and he knew.
So this week, again, seeing that we are talking how to proactively solve problems, we are going to dive deep into the top 5 ways in which you can become a proactive problem solver. All right, we're going to really give you a built out the framework for that concept. So this week, again, seeing that we are talking how to proactively solve problems, we are going to dive deep into the top.
Hey, I'm Hillary Wisconsin.
All it takes is meeting the right people, you two connecting, or you and this person really figuring out how to create win-win opportunities. And that will, work itself out over time, versus if it's a liability, your is grass. I'm stealing a quote from my mother. My beautiful mother, Miss Deborah Cruikshank, would tell me that all the time. That was one of her main quotes. She goes, "Yo, is grass." So when it comes to your money and where you putting your money, if all of your is going into liabilities, I'm gonna say it again, your is grass, and I'm gonna leave it at that. You got a mother. All right, we're back. See if Northern. Oh, good job by that safety coming over, and also good job by the receiver for Northern Illinois playing defense, as he saw that the ball was underthrown. Yeah, he saw the ball was underthrown, and the receiver started to play a little bit of defense. All right. Looks like the Maryland defense is starting to nut up. 2-3. They had a 3 and out before, and they haven't been able to get much down. But can't let up. Can't let up. Let's see if Northern Illinois got 3rd and 9. And let's see what they do. No blocking from the receivers. That's what's going to happen. When your receivers don't block, that's what's going to happen. And they just don't have enough offense, Northern Illinois, to take advantage of these opportunities that Maryland's been giving them. Look at that terrible block. Who was that? 80. Terrible block by both receivers in that situation. So caught this one. Let's see if he makes all right return. Good effort by, I believe it's a 24, by continuing to stay with the play in pursuit. Wasn't there somebody on this broadcast telling you how great of a game number one was having? Yep, player of the game. This is, I mean, I am absolutely loving this. It takes me back to my scouting days, and to be able to have it out there for public consumption, and to listen to what I say, and then see the broadcast crew, say pretty much the same thing. It's nothing but nothing short, but short of rewarding. Oof. Way to pursue 32. Bang! What's the flag now? Holding offense. Oh, Maryland, this is bad. Goodness. And it was. Pass here. Okay, good call. That's a good call. Great call. I think it's exactly what Maryland needed, just getting a positive game, catch them in the over pursuit. Great call. All right, good pass. Got 2 feet. That would have been good in the NFL. No, I mean, too much penetration. They have not been able to get anything on the ground all night. Empty backfield. We got 5 wide receivers. Good grief. It's rough times. This one hits him right in his hands. And he drops it. Come up, make a play. Good job, 23. I think he broke on that really, really well. But now we got 4th and long. 4th and it looks like I'll say about 6. 5, excuse me, 5. We're close. Gain of 6 yards. Oh man. Touchdown. Now that yeah, it looked he stayed patient. Let's catch the replay. Quarterback stayed patient somewhat. and it looked like the guy just got open because of lack of pass rush. It was a lack of pass rush on the Northern Illinois defense. So it gave him time to get that one off. All right. Patience here. Yep. We needed to get a pass rush. This artificial intelligence, AI, all that stuff coming, the shit is happening, and it's happening now. And if your stuff is tied up into liabilities and your money's tied up into clothes and going clubbing, and you gotta be here, you gotta be kind of if it's tied up in that is just a liability, it's grass. So I'm gonna leave it at that. All it takes is meeting the right people, and you two connecting, or you and this person really figuring out how to create win-win opportunities, and that that will work itself out over time. Versus if it's a liability, your is grass. I'm stealing a quote. It was a year ago when I did this fitness event out here in West Palm Beach, but I also put a picture of the Under Armour new technology and how it was all created because this was Kevin Plank figuring out how to solve a problem before it became a problem, with the cotton underneath the shoulder pads and all that kind of stuff. It was a year ago when I did this fitness event out here in West Palm Beach, but I also put a picture of the Under Armour new technology and how it was all created because this was Kevin Plank figuring out how to solve a problem before it became a problem, with the cotton underneath the shoulder pads and all that kind of stuff. It was a year ago when I did this fitness event. You can't be proactive if you're not personally invested. I want to read that last line again. All right, so we are clear and we are 1,000% understanding what I'm saying. Okay, until you know what breaks your heart, you'll never know what problems you're truly meant to solve. Back as one Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Watching, going over the Maryland versus Illinois game. That Maryland just put another one in the end zone. They scored a long pass, and it was actually, I believe, it was a fourth down, and they were able to actually score a touchdown on it. So let's see if Northern Illinois responds. And based on the way their offense is played, it's not likely. But we're never going to say never here, because this is the game of football, and we never know what can happen. All right, here we go. All right. Still sticking to the ground game at this point. Again, the offense of Northern Illinois just has not been alive, have not been able to get anything going all day. Now approaching 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Illinois is down 9-20 to the Maryland Terrapins. And a drop, which actually stops the clock. which is probably the only positive thing about that drop for Northern Illinois is that it stops the clock and it gives you a little bit of time, but you're still in the 3rd and 11, which is a 3rd and long. Blitz comes and he tried another drop. And right now it seems Northern Illinois, they fought hard. They did play a decent game, but just not enough offense. It just does not look like enough offense, and it kind of seems like they're unraveling. Kind of seems like they're unraveling offensively when it comes to what they're doing and how they're not making plays. You get drop passes, you're getting guys throwing underneath. I mean, it just hasn't been. You could tell that he's been frustrated all night because he just has not been able to get anything going. The quarterback from Northern Illinois. Just so you know, the Penn State FIU game will be documented on this channel as well. So make sure you're commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing this out to anybody that you think would be interested, but you think needs to hear this and needs to see the game in a way that helps when it comes to hiring and employee development and teaching your staff how to operate like a championship high school or youth football team. All right, let's see what he does. Again, now clock management. Now this is where you want to grind it out drive, where you keep the ball on the ground, pick up a few first downs through running the ball, or if you're going to throw the ball, it's got to be quick passes, get it out to somebody, and just simply keep the clock running and get out of here. Get out of a game, and again, it was really sloppily played. But get in the film room, make adjustments, and move forward to the next week. Mm-hmm. Second and 10. Yes, passes like that to see if he has the football IQ to stay in bounds. Good tackle by number 7. Looks like he's cramping up. Oh, yeah. Cramps come. They come. Still in the summer months, so got to hydrate, put a lot of fluids in you. First down. Let's see if he stays in bounds. Smart. Good job, 84. Football IQ. Football IQ. Clock keeps running. Clock keeps running. About 6 minutes, 57 seconds to go. And yeah, quick passes, just getting the ball out, keeping the clock running. That is the strategy. And they get out of here, get out of there with the win. Screen pass. All right, so yeah, reality's starting to kick in now. Looks like Maryland's gonna run away with it. Looks like Maryland, they put one more in here. You could wrap that up. You could chalk it up. Good move, good screen pass, good blocking downfield. Good. See, that's a receiver blocking downfield. That's how you spring those touchdowns. 84, it's made multiple plays. He caught the first down. He stayed in bounds, and there he is. You see him blocking downfield. That's good defense. It's good defense. Guy got there a little early, but the defensive guy, he sort of look away from that. Yeah, good job. Not a bad job. It looks like he stayed in bounds. Tick, 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 tick. Clock, 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 clock. And this is, this is what you really want to see. This is the game's pretty much concluded. We kind of know who's going to win at this point, but who's still playing? Who's still out there competing? 17 has looked good all game. Is Northern Illinois going to just fold in, or are going to actually, go for a goal line stance? 4th and goal right now. This is the kind of stuff that you should be paying attention to when you're talking football. All right, who is absolutely just playing balls out and doing what they have to do. Put something on film and just play. They have a great chance to stop him here, and they do. There it is. Hit him in his hands, and they don't score. There's pride in that. There's a great deal of pride in that. And their 17 is, again, who has been showing up on film around the ball every single play. All night, he's been showing up and playing. So give him some credit, and there he is in coverage. Should have been caught. But at the end of the day, hey, he's there playing. And the game's pretty much a foregone conclusion, but who's staying around and who's not just giving up and who's going to continue to play. All of that stuff is seen on film, and it's easy to see the people that are going like that you could depend on. When you're talking about the game of football, especially at this level, the majority of these guys playing are not going to go play professionally. They're not going to go play in the NFL. But these men that they build a bond with, these men that they play the game with, they're going to be brothers for life. And they're going to know each other for life. They're going to know each other's, grandkids and grow up together and, all sorts of things that they're going to go through as they grow older. This is where, you start seeing who you could depend on and who are people that you just don't want in your life. And that's the beautiful thing about this game. Now 2nd and 5, 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Maryland is up 20-9 against Northern Illinois. At 79 rush yards again. Maryland did not play a good game. They did not play a good game. Considering the opponent, it is not a good game by the University of Maryland. Something I'm sure that the coaching staff won't be happy with, or any of the players will be happy with once they look at the film. Didn't get there. Did not get there. He did not get there. That's 4th down. Yep. You got to go for it now. You got no choice. 2 minutes to go. No, they gave him the 1st down. Okay, they gave him the 1st down. Challenge. I don't think he got there. But we shall see. Fourth down, exactly. It didn't look like he got there. But they do have to go for it. You know, it's 2 minutes to go. Really got nothing to lose. Let's see what they do. They take the they take the quarterback. They move him out at receiver. They split him out as a wideout. Let's see what they do. And they get there. They get there. They get that man. They get the one of the guys out of the box by putting the quarterback out and receiver and run a direct snap to the running back. Ooh, good tackle. Here we go. 2 minute warning. 2 minute warning. Keeping with tradition, before I get to today's announcements, keeping with tradition, what we do every Tuesday, what I literally just posted this before I started recording. It's been well over a year. And the reason I remember the fact that it's been over a year because I remember I did it. I started doing it when all the Caitlin Clark, like the media circus with Caitlin Clark was going around, and seeing that she was a hometown hero for her college team. I thought about all the college stars and the heroes that played for their specific college program, and that just kind of triggered them to something. And then every week it's been a top 5 Tuesday every single week for over a year. So today, keeping with tradition, before I get to today's announcements, keeping with everything
It's now become something that I get to go to a business owner who's willing to pay for employee development and say, who's your person who's verifying all the AI driven material? Who's the person that you have appointed to make sure if you're going to it's now become something that I get to go to a business owner who's willing to pay for employee development and say, who's your person who's verifying all the AI driven material? Who's the person that you have appointed to make sure if you're going to do outreach, if you're going to utilize it, create all these AI generated cold outreaches, or create all these AI generated notes or messages or marketing material and all that. Who have you done? It's now become something that I get to go to a business owner who's willing to pay for employee development and say, who's your person who's a mistake I made that I took and I said, okay, this is the way the game is played. Take your mistakes, own it. First of all, own it, make it public, own it, make it so you know it. And then here's how we can learn from it and get better. That's what I teach. That right there. I can call you could dress it up in a lot of different ways. Move Swiftly, the books, the podcast, the market, all the websites, all the things that you can dress it up as. But when it comes to boiling down the core of why people are paying you versus paying someone else, it's because this right here, this mistake and this learning with people, thinking.
And we are back. 2 minutes to go. 2nd and 4. Northern Illinois is seeing kind of just their last gasp. And again, this is where character is built, where character is revealed, I should say. You're down. The possibilities, the chances of you winning are slim to none. But who's still going to play? Who's still going to go out there, do what they got to do, bust their ass, and who is just continuing to play, even though the game is pretty much a foregone conclusion that Maryland will win again. A team that did not perform well, regardless of what the scoreboard says. As you watched the game, you saw they never were able to really create any cohesive drives and make any dominant plays, really. It's a lot of the touchdowns that they did have were two, it was really just 2 touchdowns and then 2 field goals. And the touchdowns that they had were like bigger plays, and they just kind of put themselves in situations where they squeaked out a win today against an inferior opponent. So not very encouraging at all as a Big Ten guy and a Maryland guy from Maryland. So this is the reason you have to watch the game. You have to watch the game of football before you start acting like you know so much about the game. You got to watch a full game all the way through against teams that don't really have a national brand, right? I'm recording this on a day where the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers are playing on a Friday night. And again, I wanted to watch this game specifically because the goal is to be a play-by-play announcer for college football. And again, if I'm serious about that goal, these are the things that I'm going to have to do. Going to be watching games that don't get a lot of attention, that won't get a lot of attention. But hey, you're there, you're seeing it, you're understanding it. That's what the game is all about. So it looks like Maryland will probably just kind of burn out the clock, run a few plays here, and try to get out of here again with they did win on the scoreboard, but it was not a very overwhelming performance at all in totality. So stats and all that, yep. Again, I'm a firm believer that stats are for losers. Stats are for losers. Scoreboards are for winners. He did not look good tonight. It was not an efficient game at all. One of the worst fumbles I think I've seen in all my years of watching football too, by the way. A fumble that Northern Illinois was not able to capitalize and take advantage of. Even that throw right there was a little bit late. This one was again late. The pass rush wasn't there, so just gotta do better. It's like one more first down, and again, let's see who's out there continuing to compete. See who's out there continuing to compete. Yes, tomorrow, the Penn State versus FIU game will be don't show. It won't be shown live direct. All right, but I'll probably have it debuting that night, 9 a.m. or something. Excuse me, 9 p.m. The game's at noon, but I'll be commenting on it and then having it recorded just like I'm doing now, and I'll be promoting it on the channel, having the premiere on this very channel later on. I don't not allowed to record live. I'm not running into any copyright issues. I'm just not going to do it. Again, YouTube got a decent thing going on YouTube, so I don't want to do that. So, yeah, there's a guy that's still continuing to play, 4th and 2. And let's see. Looks like they're going to try to kick a field goal. And he missed the field goal. Yeah, that kind of night. That kind of night for Maryland. That quarterback's getting up, hobbling. Still got this starting guy in. Yeah, they're gonna see how this thing. They're gonna ride this thing out, man. Good catch. First and 10, Northern Illinois. All right, good effort. Good effort. 45 was actually the one that broke that long run. One of the the only touchdown actually for Northern Illinois. 45 broke that long run. And that will just about do it. They probably got time for about one more play. Huh. You're going to try a field goal. Hey, why not? Some points up. Not even close.
Matters.
Score remains the Terrapins 20, Northern Illinois 9.
20-9. As we prepare to turn you over to the big show, delivering highlights, post-game interviews, complete analysis tonight after football on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, yeah, let's let the broadcast go a little bit.
Squad take down Northern Illinois tonight.
Yeah, so they'll go to 2-0.
With an FCS matchup with Towson to come.
All right,
Towson Tigers,
and that's all
who reside not
he
far
wrote.
away
As you can see
in
again,
Maryland,
I remain.
about 45 miles from here. Malik Washington, Mike Loxley and the Terps, congratulating Thomas Hammock and the Huskies on a hard-fought game. Maryland secures the victory, 20-9.
It was again underwhelming if you're a Maryland guy, Big Ten guy, but join me here again tomorrow. The Penn State and FIU game will be played on this channel. Again, if you're a business owner out there and you want to develop a staff that moves like a championship high school youth football team, simply go to makeitmove.com. That's MakeYAMO. Actually, you know what? Let's let Loxley talk.
Your team elevate tonight.
Well, we cleaned up the penalties. You know, we went from 16 a week ago, I think, to 3, and 2 of them ended up on special teams. Obviously, we had the turnover, the first one of the year, something we could get corrected, but really like it was a hard-fought game. It wasn't easy. We knew that Northern Illinois is a good team. Credit to Thomas Hammock and that team. They're a good little ball club, and we got better today. We got better. We found a way to win.
Quarterback Malik Washington finishes with more than 250 pass yards for the second straight week. How would you evaluate his performance?
You know, we got to still help him. Way too many drops in the passing game. The run game, I thought we got going, and then we get in the red zone and we kind of abandon it. We got to be able to run the football better, to take some pressure off of him. He continues to make really good decisions with the football for the most part. We'll be able to get this stuff cleaned up and get ready for Towson.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Kylan, we appreciate it.
All right. Again, kind of similar to what I've been saying throughout the game. Again, a lot of things to clean up if you're a Maryland Terrapins fan. Channel tomorrow, Penn State taking on FIU. Again, main website to check out the dive deeper into all the work I do is makeitmove.com. That's MakeYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.